Hey everyone, this is a quick little tutorial on how I made my Mettaton cosplay. It's been really highly requested, so let's get to it. So, what I think I get asked about most often is how I see. And if you look close enough, there's this little cutout here, and it's just covered on the back of this black construction paper by really thin black fabric, and then these squares kind of overlap it, so it's even harder to see than what would be usual, but I could see pretty well. On the outside, you have to look pretty closely to be able to see that there's even a hole there. So when doing the face, it's really easy. You just need to measure your box and make sure you have the right width and height, and then base your square cutout off of that. This is all made out of construction paper pretty much. And then for your height, of course, you just need to figure out how far you want your dress to come up on your box, basically. The fabric covers the knobs that are usually at the bottom, so I didn't have to worry about making those. But you can see these lights here, and also, all of this. You can put whatever design you want on it. All you have to do is, look up a reference picture, and it should be easy enough to follow. A lot of people do the heart. I just went for the M. And I hot glued them all on. You can see some of the hot glue, unfortunately. So you take your fabric and you make like a regular ball gown. So you'd start by cutting out 4 straight pieces, a front and a back, a side and a side, and you sew it together until all those 4 pieces make, a big circle of fabric. And usually you would make that top bit smaller. You'd make everything, cinch to your waist, and then when you put a petticoat under it, it would look really poofy and, ball gowny. But it's a little harder because you have to put this on a box. So I did just hot glue it. So I don't know how to show you that exactly because I covered it all up pretty well. I really didn't want people to know it was hot glue for obvious reasons. So the sleeves are, well, frankly, they're terrible, but nothing that anyone would notice unless they were up close. Basically, I just hot glued them all around the hole that I cut out for my arms, and then it's the blue fabric underneath of the sheer fabric that I put over it, and then by doing that you still got the blue color and you had room to make everything more puffy. And then of course for the little cuffs at the bottom, that's where you get your shape from. It's basically just hot glued at the very tops. These Christmas lights, please ignore them. It was holiday matsuri, so it was Christmassy, and I'll probably rip them off eventually, but he does light up. There he is. I just did it the way I always do bows, which is pretty easy, and it's all floppy fabric, so I glued it. I glued it to stay this way. You take a piece of fabric, like a rectangle, like this, and you sew it together, like sew it, flip it inside out, one side will still be open, maybe hot glue that shut. That's what I did. So now you're just gonna go ahead and cut out a really long piece for this part of the bow. If you want it to be wider at the ends, cut it that way. It's pretty easy. And then you're just going to go ahead and sew that up like you did with the bigger rectangle. And you're going to finish it off by closing it up at the end. And then you're going to bunch up your big rectangle like it's a bow. And you're going to take that long piece that you made and you're going to tie it so that the knot is in the back of the bow. And then, wow, you've got like a perfect bow. It's really easy, I promise. Now, of course, these bad boys, the High School Musical mic, it's a good touch. And the cartoon gloves. These I just bought on like Amazon Prime for $10. So I wanted to go ahead and take a second to talk about what I wore underneath all of this. I did just wear, normal clothes. And then I wore my metallic shirt underneath. You can use whatever, like a spandex shiny shirt. Basically the same thing that Mettaton X's usually use for their arms. And then, of course, I wore like 3 petticoats under this. Honestly, I would recommend getting a big hoop skirt or something, and then just making your dress a lot wider to, be able to fit over that. That's really the easiest way to do everything, in my opinion.